Ram Ram Bhai Saryan. So the topic which we are going to take today is government budget. Very important topic for 10th graders as well as 12th graders of ICSE, ISC and 12th graders of CBSE. What do we understand when I say the term government budget? Government budget is an annual financial statement of the estimated receipts. That means how much receipts we are going to receive, the government is going to receive, and the proposed expenditure, how much expenditure government is going to make in a given financial year for the disbursement which the government may allow. Every year the budget is proposed by finance minister of the country in the parliament in the month of Feb, and the last day of February is the day when the parliament signs and approves that government budget, and for the upcoming year that budget is further implemented. We all are aware about the tax regimes, right? Whatever the tax laws are passed. So every year, in government budget, these tax regimes are passed by the parliament, and that is how we come to know. So this year, we all are aware that we have got a tax rebate earlier up to 5 lakh. We were not supposed to pay income tax. Now up to 7 lakhs, we are not supposed to pay any income tax. Now let's talk about components of government budget. Components of government budget. So what did I say? From the definition itself, we get the components. So what did I say? It means estimated receipts. So government receipts. What is it? Government receipts is first component. Second, proposed expenditure. So government expenditure, where government is going to make expenses. Okay, where government is planning to make expenditure. So that is my proposed expenditure. Now, government receipts are of two types. One is capital and one is revenue. Revenue receipts are the receipts which are recurring in nature, These receipts government is incurring every year repeatedly again and again. So that's why it is revenue receipts. That means it is recurring in nature. So it is called as revenue receipts. When I say the term capital receipts, what do I understand? It is not recurring in nature. Also, these receipts either creates liability or some assets are reduced. Assets are reduced. It is called as capital receipts. What is it? Capital receipts. They are not recurring in nature. Whenever we earn any capital receipts, either some assets are reduced or any additional liability has been created. For example, tax revenue. Revenue receipts are divided into two types: tax revenue and non-tax revenue. Tax revenue and non-tax revenue. Tax we all are aware about. I already took a video on this. What is tax? Tax are again of two types: direct tax, indirect tax. Yeah. Non-tax revenue includes fines by the government, penalties by the government, fees charged by the government, stamp duty charged by the government. Escheats, one of the very important word, maybe most of you all might not be aware. If a person has a property but he or she does not have anyone behind them to take the benefit or advantage out of that property goes to the government. Okay, if there is no legal heir to take that property, all that property goes to the government. That is called as sheets. Okay, so I hope we are aware about, now we are aware about revenue receipts. Two types: tax revenue receipts, non-tax revenue. Tax has two types: direct tax, indirect tax. What is non-tax revenue receipts? Fines, penalties, fees paid, stamp duty, sheets, and many other. Now let's talk about capital receipts. What is it? Capital receipts either creates liability or some assets are sold. So one, borrowings. Whenever government borrows money, it can be from its local citizen, it can be from the other government, it can be from other monetary institutions like IMF, international monetary institutions, international monetary funds, World Bank, right? It can be some investment done by foreign government or any foreign private enterprises. It can be borrowings, it can be investment. Yes. Okay. So these are the capital receipts. I hope we understood capital receipts. Now let's come back to government expenditure. Government spends money, government expenditure, government spends money for development, non-development. Earlier, the role of government was limited. It was limited up to only two things. One is maintenance of law and order. Other one is defending our countries from foreign enemies. But over the period of time, as the time has passed, the role of government has also increased. Now government also looks after employment, looks after poverty, government looks after infrastructure, government looks after development, government looks after what not. Anything happens in the country, we blame government. So government has to look after each and everything. So yes, when the government is looking after so many things, the government expenditure is going to increase. So again, there are two types of government expenditure: capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure is the one which is not recurring in nature, which is not recurring in nature. Means this expenditure government incurs some time only. Okay, government has repaid some loan somewhere, or government has invested money somewhere. So those expense government is not going to do again and again. Government has built some property or some dam or some bridge somewhere. So that expenditure government need not do again and again. It's not repetitive in nature. So it's not recurring. Okay. Also, it creates assets. It creates assets or reduces liability. It reduces liability. What happens? It reduces liability. So it is my capital expenditure. Revenue expenditure are those expenditure which government does for daily administrative work. It does for daily administrative purpose. For administration of the country, government does the expense that is called as revenue expenditure. Okay, it is recurring in nature because government has to spend this money again and again. Recurring in nature. Okay, because government is spending this money every year. Say for example, salaries to the government employees, maintenance of the roads, maintenance of the parks, hospitals and other things. So this expenditure government is going to do again and again. So it is revenue expenditure. Okay, so with this, our components of government budget is done. I hope you understood the concepts we have done today. If you like the video, do like, follow, subscribe and share the channel. Thank you so much everyone. See you all in the next video.